If you left your house empty thinking you'd save money, think again, because right now, councils across England can legally charge you up to 300% council tax on an empty property. Yes, 3 times the normal bill. And most homeowners don't even realize it until the letter drops through the door. Imagine opening your post and seeing a demand not for £2,000, but £6,000. For a house no one is even living in. Welcome back to UK Housing Realities, the channel where we expose what's really happening in the UK property system, without the spin, without the sugarcoating, just facts that affect real homeowners like you. Today, we're talking about empty homes, council tax premiums, and how local authorities now have the power to massively increase what you pay simply because your property is unoccupied. Let's break this down properly. Across England, councils have been given powers under housing legislation to apply what's called an empty homes premium. This allows them to charge extra council tax on properties that are left vacant for long periods. Originally, it was 50% extra. Then it went up to 100%, then 200%. And now, in many areas, it can go as high as 300%. That means if your standard council tax bill is £2,000 a year, a 300% premium could push that to £8,000 in total. That's not a typo. It's happening right now in certain council areas. The idea behind it is simple. Councils say there's a housing shortage. They argue that empty homes should be brought back into use. So instead of letting owners sit on vacant properties, they apply financial pressure. But here's where things get complicated. Not every empty home is abandoned. Some are between tenants. Some are going through probate. Some need major renovation. Some are inherited and tied up in legal processes. Others are owned by people who moved for work, health, or family reasons. And yet, once the clock starts ticking, the council tax premium can begin stacking up year after year. Let's talk about the timeline. In many areas, after a property has been empty and substantially unfurnished for 1 year, councils can apply a 100% premium. After 5 years, it can increase further. After 10 years, some councils can apply the maximum 300% premium. And more recently, changes have allowed councils to reduce the waiting period even further. Some can now apply higher premiums after just 1 year of vacancy instead of 2. So if you inherited a house and you're sorting out legal paperwork, renovations, or trying to sell in a slow market, you could be penalized simply because the process is taking time. Now here's something most people don't realize. This isn't a national flat rule. It's local authority dependent. That means what happens in one borough could be completely different in another. For example, councils in cities like Birmingham or Manchester may adopt different premium levels compared to smaller districts. Some apply maximum charges aggressively. Others are more flexible. This creates a postcode lottery. 2 identical empty houses in different towns could face totally different tax bills. Let's talk about exemptions, because this is where it gets important. There are certain situations where premiums may not apply. For example, if the property is undergoing major structural repairs, if it's left empty due to the owner moving, into care if it's part of a deceased estate and probate hasn't been granted yet. But here's the catch. You usually have to apply. You need evidence, you need documentation, and if you miss deadlines or don't respond to letters, the premium can be applied automatically. Councils are not going to chase you to save you money. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The government argues that there are hundreds of thousands of empty homes across England. At the same time, there's a housing crisis. Rents are rising. First-time buyers are struggling. Social housing waiting lists are growing. So from a policy perspective, empty homes are seen as wasted resources. But from an owner's perspective, it can feel like punishment. What if you're trying to sell, but the market is slow? What if you're renovating and waiting for builders? What if you can't afford the renovation without selling another asset first? Suddenly, instead of helping you bring the property back into use, the council tax premium makes it financially harder. And here's another layer. Some councils don't just stop at premiums. They can also pursue enforced sales in extreme long-term vacancy cases. They can use compulsory purchase powers. They can issue improvement notices. It rarely starts there. It starts with the tax pressure. Now let's talk numbers. In a real-world example, say you own a Band D property with an annual council tax bill of £2,100. Year 1, empty. Normal rate. Year 2, empty. 100% premium. You're now paying £4,200. After several years, if the council applies 200% or 300% premium, you could be looking at £6,300 or even £8,400 annually. Over 5 years, that's tens of thousands of pounds. Just to keep the property empty. For small landlords, accidental landlords, or families handling inherited homes, that's serious money. And here's something even more controversial. Second homes are also being targeted. Separate from empty homes, some councils now have the power to charge 100% premiums on second homes from 2025 onwards. That means holiday homes or properties kept for occasional use could face double council tax. The message is clear. Councils want properties occupied. But the question is whether financial punishment is the right tool. Now, I want you to think about this carefully. If you're planning to move out and leave a property empty while deciding what to do, you need to contact your council immediately. Ask about their empty property policy. Ask about timelines. Ask about exemptions. Get everything in writing, because ignorance is expensive. Also, if you're renovating, document everything. Keep builder invoices. Take dated photos. Keep correspondence. If you need to appeal, a premium, evidence is everything. And if you've inherited property, don't assume you have unlimited time. Probate protection doesn't last forever. Once it's granted, the clock may restart on premium calculations. This is why, on UK Housing Reality, we always say the biggest risk in UK property isn't just the mortgage. It's the regulation you didn't know about. Housing policy is shifting fast. Councils are under financial pressure. They're looking for revenue, and empty properties are easy targets because they don't vote. They don't complain, and they don't attend council meetings. Homeowners do. So here's my advice. If you genuinely can't occupy the property, consider temporary solutions. Letting it out legally, allowing a family member to move in. Even short-term licensed arrangements where permitted. Because once it's classified as occupied and furnished, the premium may not apply. But always check local rules. Don't rely on what happened 5 years ago. The rules have changed, and they will keep changing. The days of leaving a property empty for years without financial consequences are largely over in many parts of England. This isn't about panic. It's about awareness. Because when you understand the system, you can plan around it. When you don't, you pay for it. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who owns property. Especially anyone who's inherited a house, is renovating, or thinking about leaving a home vacant. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think 300% council tax is fair, or is it government overreach? And if you want more straight talk and breakdowns of UK housing laws, council powers, landlord rules, and property traps they don't advertise, make sure you subscribe to UK Housing Reality. Because in this market, information isn't just power, it's protection. I'll see you in the next one.